When I lived on Hvar, I was really impressed by how there was so much tradition, and every single village seemed to have something different. It had a different saint's day, a different celebration. And then one day in the village of Svirce, I became aware of this ancient game called Zogafalo, which even most people on the island have never heard of. And it's a game that's it's kind of roughly described as Dalmatian baseball. They have a very hard ball from, I can't remember what it's made from, and they play in the main square, and it's all a bit strange. I don't actually understand the rules. And back in 2014, there was one 90-year-old guy who was part of the original tradition of playing Zogafalo. There were some young kids that used to play it. And we had a festival, a wine festival called the Bogdanusha Festival, which is a grape variety. And as you can see from this video footage, there was a demonstration of the Zogafalo. And that stayed with me because I just thought, you know, what a wonderful tradition, and this is dying out. And then I heard about a game called Plojka in Hvar, which is played on the loggia, the sort of town hall building. It was with the seeds of the palm trees, a bit of stone, and you could see all the indents in the stonework on the loggia. This stayed with me as well, and I realised the more I went around Dalmatia particularly, but also Croatia, but Dalmatia particularly, there were so many different traditions and games that were very, very specific to a particular region or a particular village. And a lot of these things are being forgotten about and not played anymore because kids now are on their phones the whole time, and people are emigrating, and so this knowledge is becoming lost. So I came up with this concept a few years ago called the Dalmatian Olympic Games of traditional Dalmatian games. And the idea is to get as many of these villages that have these indigenous games, and to celebrate them in one event where we bring all the different villages, all the different games into one place, like somewhere like Trogir or Castella. And all these people come from the villages with their food, their wines, their traditions, their costumes, their music. And we have this event where we really celebrate Dalmatian way, which is dying out. And my idea was to have 3 teams. So we would have a team of the older generation who knew all about these games. We would have a team of the younger generation who would be learning about and hopefully continuing this tradition. And also a tourist team, so that they could actually learn and take part in this and so on. It would be done with some interviews and with a lot of PR. And that way we could document a lot of these games that are being lost. I was talking to the Central Dalmatian Tourist Board just before the pandemic, and there was definitely some interest. And I really think that if we can do this, we can really help preserve the traditions. And to me, tourism is about stories, and it's about events, and it's about experiences. The stuff that goes on in inland Dalmatia is fascinating, and we need to document that. And I'm pleased to say that now I'm working with Felix Lukas, who is the director of the WTA tennis tournament in Bolton and now Makarska. And he loves the idea. He's a very proud Dalmatian. And so together we're working on this. Hopefully next year we will have a wonderful event that will preserve some of the traditions of Dalmatia, called the Olympics of the traditional Dalmatian games. If you're interested in being involved, then please get in touch. Or if you know of any games. When I had the idea, I posted on Facebook and I asked people, can you just give me a list of any games that are in your region? And I had about 40 different games coming from all over Dalmatia. It was fantastic. If we can get this organised, we can make this into a very, very special event which preserves some of the massive traditions of this wonderful region.